Good morning, Reform Wales. Well, it's a big day for us, and it's a big day in this campaign. But before I talk about Wales, before I talk about Dan Thomas, before I talk about our manifesto, I think I might just spend a couple of minutes on international affairs and the current standing of the United Kingdom in the world and its Prime Minister, Sir Keir Starmer. I generally am somebody who is very, very deeply nervous of getting involved in foreign wars. The worry, of course, always is, what is the end game? What is the getting out strategy? And we've had far too much of that over the course of the last quarter of a century. But there is something fundamentally different when it comes to Iran. Gaddafi, Saddam, all these leaders, bad though they may have been, did not pose a direct threat to us, whatever the Labour Prime Minister of the day said. But Iran is very, very different, and I would argue that their funding of Hamas and other terrorist organisations since October the 7th, a couple of years back, has actually fundamentally changed much in our own country, including politics, where we now see sectarian voting, where we now see third world style election rigging, as we saw in Gorton and Denton just a few days ago. But that is nothing compared with the fact that the Iranian regime, aided and abetted by President Obama, the European Union, the British Foreign Office, Boris Johnson when he was Foreign Secretary, what we did was to appease Iran, to free up tens of billions of dollars with which they funded Hezbollah, the Houthis, Hamas, their attempt to spread global terrorism. And they are desperate and in a hurry to build a nuclear weapon. And if there was one big justifiable reason why we should have supported the Americans and supported the Israelis on day one, if this war stops Iran getting a nuclear bomb, it will have been worth it. But what did our Prime Minister do? He said to the Americans, you cannot use military bases in the United Kingdom and you can't use Diego Garcia. It's funny, isn't it? All roads lead back to that dreadful Chagos deal. And then the Americans and Israelis did what they did. And then he said, not me, Gov, we're not involved, but we will put fighter jets into the sky in a defensive capacity. Quite how a fighter jet is defensive, I've never personally quite worked out. And now we learn that Ed Miliband led the sort of left-wing revolt in cabinet, and now we find ourselves humiliated. What was for centuries the greatest naval nation on earth is now unable for up to a fortnight to send a Type 45 to Cyprus to defend, and remember this, British sovereign territory. British sovereign territory, with hundreds and hundreds of British people there working and their families. So we've managed to upset the Cypriots. We've managed to upset the Americans. We've managed to upset the UAE, Bahrain, and all the other Gulf states that are on our side. And now, even Spain, who said they'd have nothing to do with any of it, have this morning sent a destroyer to help defend Cyprus and help defend our base. So we're being defended by the Spanish, defended by the French, defended by the Greeks, and incapable of defending ourselves. Yes, I know that the last British government ran down our armed forces in a virtually criminal way. But it didn't take a rocket scientist to work out that America was going to attack Iran. It's been flagged for weeks. And yet we have a Prime Minister incapable of making a decision, dithering, pathetic in his response almost to everything. And I'm guessing it's because Morgan McSweeney is gone. You see, Morgan McSweeney would give our Prime Minister, McSweeney would give him a sheet of paper and he'd stand up at a press conference or at the Commons and just read it out. With McSweeney gone, we see the naked truth, that our Prime Minister is a follower and not a leader, that he and our reputation on the world stage is frankly going down the drain, and the sooner they're gone and out of office, the better it'll be for everybody. But the international dimension continues into Welsh politics. Now, it is true that a former senior figure, albeit very briefly in the party, from Reform Wales, did take foreign money, and he's in prison, as he should be. As he should be. But from Labour, we have had the moral high ground. Oh, yes. Don't vote for reform. They could be in the pay of a foreign government. And yesterday we learned that David Taylor married to a Labour MP. Matthew Applin, who used to work for Labour in the Senedd, and Stephen Jones, special advisor formerly to Labour First Minister Carwyn Jones and worked under Tony Blair in Westminster, have all been arrested on suspicion of spying for the Chinese Communist Party. The corruption within Labour from the Chinese Communist Party runs deep, so we will not hear in this campaign another word of condemnation or criticism from the hypocrites in the Welsh Labour Party. Now, I am very proud of the way our party has developed in Wales over the course of the last 20 months. And today really kickstarts our campaign for May the 7th. Today is the launch of this document. It's our Welsh manifesto for May the 7th, and I commend it to all of you. Now, would you like me to run through the key points? Well, I'm not going to, because that's not my job. No, far from being the one-man band that much of the national media will tell you that we are, we're growing and we're developing our own leaders. And here in Wales, I'm very, very pleased to say that Dan Thomas is proving an excellent leader of our party in Wales. He is, in my opinion, more than capable. More than capable. He is more than capable, certainly far more capable than many First Ministers that you've had in Wales over the last 26 years of failure. And this document, this is not just the document of a party looking to make a splash. Not just the document of a party looking to get a handful of people elected. Oh, sorry, darling, you having a rough morning? Did you get out the wrong side of the bed? It's all right. That's all right. You always get the odd screamer at these events. It's all right, you can go back to work. Go back to work. Well, I did say to her, go back to work, but of course, she hasn't got a job, has she? But it's okay, and we can expect much more of that, because there are many fearful of just how well we could do in these elections here in Wales. And you know, it'll be a defining election, not just for Wales, not just for us, but for the Prime Minister. And I'll tell you why I say that. Keir Hardie was elected back in the 1890s in Merthyr Tydfil. And if you go through the progression of the Labour Party, particularly from 1918 onwards, they've owned Wales, but in particular, they've owned the valleys. And those huge figures of historical significance in the Labour Party that have represented those constituencies, the Nye Bevans, the Michael Foots, the Neil Kinnocks, these are all giants, giants of the Labour movement. And if the Labour result is anything like the current opinion polls, Wales will end the premiership of Sir Keir Starmer. It'll happen after May the 7th. And we will all be better for it. The fact that he's a disaster in office and the party are failing, well, the warning signs were there. They've been there for 26 years. The way Labour has run Wales in terms of health, education and frankly virtually every other measure should have been a warning to the country not to vote them in on July the 4th, 2024. May the 7th will end Labour dominance in Wales and in particular the valleys. And if we get this right, we will get rid of the worst Prime Minister any of us have seen in our lifetimes, and boy, and when you think about it, that's quite something, isn't it? Because there's a fair bit of competition out there, you know. We have every chance, realistic chance of becoming the biggest party in Wales when we wake up on May the 8th. But you never know. If this campaign goes well, if Dan Thomas performs as I believe he will, if you all do your bit, who knows? The ultimate prize could be in sight.